Hey everybody, it's Corbin from Remax Treeland, and today's video is all about dual agency. What is it? How does it affect you? And why exactly is the provincial government banning it as of June this year? Now this video is a tad longer than my other videos, so please bear with me. But I promise you, if you're planning on buying or selling real estate ever, you're going to want to watch this video to the very end. As of June 15th this year, the Superintendent of Real Estate, Michael Noseworthy, intends to ban dual agency in the province of BC. With the exception of 8 states, this ban doesn't exist anywhere else in North America. I'm here to tell you, the public, some common sense information on this hot topic so you can make the decision for yourself. Dual agency is what frequently happens when a realtor like myself or a real estate team has one client who's wishing to sell their property, and then they have another client or clients who want to buy that property. They write the offer and they end up representing both sides of the transaction. This is done with a very detailed disclosure contract, oversight from managing brokers, as well as both parties have to 100% agree to this. It's their choice. Most agents that are successful or have been in the business for a long time, or especially those with teams, have this happen on a very regular basis due to the large number of clients. Currently, a seller who is considering which realtor or real estate team to choose would consider this a huge benefit. This is because they're of course happy that their agent has a huge database to market their property to. This can drastically increase the number of buyers that would see their home, thus helping with their sale. Buyers, on the other hand, are also happy because they can work with their agent that they know and trust, and they can count on them to make sure they don't miss any properties. Additionally, it's common practice when a realtor represents both sides that they reduce their commission. And this, of course, is a win-win for both sides. Now, I'll make sure to reiterate that both the buyer and the seller have to agree in a very detailed contract to allow the realtor or real estate team to represent them both. This can't be understated enough, but I won't get into the complexities of these contracts in this video. As I mentioned, there's lots of oversight from managing brokers to make sure things are done above board and 100% ethically. The result is 2 very happy clients that got to work with their chosen realtor. So if all of this sounds great, you might be wondering why the government wants to ban dual agency. That's a great question. Well, it's their opinion that banning dual agency will enhance consumer protection. They are basing this largely on an online poll where they only received 131 responses province-wide. So what exactly will happen when the government bans dual agency altogether? For this part, I'm going to give you a simple, common scenario that'll explain exactly what happens if the government bans dual agency. Let's say we have Rick the Realtor. Now Rick the Realtor has worked with Bob the Buyer for 5 years. They bought and sold several homes together, and Rick is Bob's trusted realtor of choice. Now let's say Rick has another client, Sally the seller. Sally has also worked with Rick for 5 years, and Sally trusts Rick as her realtor of choice. So Sally hires Rick to sell her 2-bedroom condo in Langley City. Now Rick spends a lot of time and money and manages to get 14 multiple offers on her condo. Of course, Sally couldn't be happier with Rick. Now at this point, Rick the Realtor receives a call from Bob the Buyer who wants to write an offer on Sally's condo. Under the new rules, Rick would have to recuse himself from working with both the buyer and the seller. Not just one, but both. There is some talk now that Rick may only have to recuse himself from one of the parties, but the situation remains the same. He would either have to tell Sally that even though he negotiated the original 14 offers, because he has his own client that wants to write an offer, he'll have to refer her to some stranger to sell her home again, and then refer Bob to some other stranger to write up his offer, if he even chooses to do so. Now, if the superintendent of real estate allows one person to remain represented, the realtor will find him or herself in the position of choosing which client comes first. This is hardly a position you'd want your realtor in. Sally could potentially lose thousands of dollars on her sale and waste valuable time destaging her condo. And then she'd have the new realtor, who she doesn't know or trust, have to market and resell her home. And then Bob loses his choice of realtor and may decide not to write the offer altogether. Now I expect most of you agree, this doesn't make much sense. Most veterans in the industry are calling it the most ridiculous rule they've ever seen. Think about this. After June 15th, if you're selling, your realtor has every financial incentive to hope and pray that none of his or his team's buyers ever see your property or ever want to write an offer on it. But because of the superintendent of real estate's decision, they'll be financially incentivized to sweep your listing under the rug because they stand to lose up to 100% of their commission if any of their buyers want to write an offer on it. And when they work with you as the buyer, they have every financial incentive to filter listings to you so you never see any of theirs. The simple fact is this: consumer protection should be the highest priority in our business, period. There can be no tolerance of deceptive, unethical practices in our business, and we welcome a high level of oversight. That being said, as I just demonstrated, the unintended consequences of these possible changes far outweigh any possible benefits. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any feedback or questions, we always love to hear from you in the comments below. And if you also disagree with a complete ban on dual agency, please take a few minutes to contact your local MLA or the Superintendent of Real Estate, Michael Noseworthy. Their information is in the description below. Thanks.